get this video started, I've got to preface this by saying I might be the most interesting person ever to work a corporate job. I use the most ridiculous analogies in business meetings with important people. That's just me. I like to have fun and I like to try to relate it to something that we all know. So I'm about to use one, but I'm going to tell you, I was in a business meeting one time and I was telling my team, hey look, you may have 20 great ideas this year or for your job or for a project, but as a team in a big corporate job, we have to work with other teams, cross-functional. And to make whatever idea you have the most successful and the most effective, you have to work with others. That's why I think what I'm doing right now is I may not be giving out the best tips, but if I can give you out my experiences in working with others, we can all collaborate. But back to the meeting, I said, hey guys, imagine all these ideas are noodles and we're cooking them. To test if they're ready or not, you throw them at a wall. So we need to put everything together, lay them down on the floor, out on the table, and whichever ideas stick, we can get other teams to buy into, that's the ones we need to go with. So the story I'm about to tell you is somebody reached out to me on Instagram and I was like, Andrew, why are you doing these videos? What's all these marketing tips? And I started laughing and I told her, imagine I'm a rapper. I know it's hard to imagine. I do it in the off season, but I was like, when rappers come up with new songs, they need beats, or it's very rare that someone, I don't even know rap worlds, but I imagine they get inspiration from old school Tupac and all those, Biggie Smalls. But I think that I'm not reinventing anything. I'm not claiming to be the best. I'm just taking what I've listened to, what I've learned from others, putting my own spin to it, and just putting the track out there. What up? This is James Harden. All right, guys. So today I want to go over what is the best social media outlet to reach people. I want to give you guys some facts, some users, what they are, and then questions to ask yourself. So that's what I want to go over today, and hopefully you learned something, so check this out. All right, guys, first things first. A lot of you wanted to know what is the best social media outlet to reach people. So first, let's look at the top tiered outlets, social media sources. Let's look at 4. You have Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. I'll show quickly the charts behind me, but essentially Facebook has the most users out of anyone across the world. So when you're just simply looking at how do I reach people, this is kind of where everyone is. You have to understand what people do on each channel, but when we're purely looking at the simple question, where are people, where are the most people? It's Facebook, and then YouTube has the second most users with 1 billion, and then it has Instagram 700 million, and Twitter is 300 million. But I think the real question you guys should be asking yourselves is, who are you trying to reach? So in the question, what social media outlets do I reach the most people? It's not really the most people. You want to reach your people. So whatever product you're creating, who wants it and where are they at? So you need to define your audience or your target demographic first. So before you do anything, do that simple task. But the one channel, the one social media outlet I do want to focus on is YouTube. Here are a little bit of stats and a little further deep dive into that. So YouTube is the second largest search engine behind Google. When you look at YouTube, it has 3 billion searches per month, and 1 out of every 2 internet users are on YouTube. And when you start thinking about influencers, which I don't want to get too far off topic, but when you think about influencers, I've seen YouTube influencers, when they create videos, they create a much more in-depth relationship with their audience. So think about your Instagram famous star. If you only know someone on Instagram for their pictures, you get a shallow depth of knowledge of them or who they are. But the more you watch their stories, which are up to 15-second videos, you get to know them a little bit more and their personality. When you follow YouTube subscribers, or when you are subscribed to someone's YouTube, you essentially become their best friend. You create that relationship, and from a brand or a personal brand point of view, when you create such a strong relationship, you are able to convert or get your subscribers to buy your product or whatever action you want them to make. So I'm going to focus on YouTube a little bit and dive into a little bit more about content marketing, help you develop that strategy a little bit further. So when you start looking at the type of content you're putting out, I want to go back to this original question. We're asking about the best search engine or the best social media outlet to get yourself into as a brand. But then secondly, I get asked, how do you stay away from becoming one-dimensional? For instance, I want to do things that involve fitness and pioneering human evolution, but I don't want that to define me because I have other interests and other things to offer, ? So it's funny, I struggle with this as well. And I think I'm gonna go back to my original sort of stance on consistency. I think here someone's asking about the afraid of being one-dimensional. They're putting almost a negative spin on it, where I want to flip it on its head and ask you, is that a bad thing? Because I think you need to be consistent. So stick with what you want to be known for. If it's pioneering human evolution, you may love to do other things in your side, in your off time, but you want to be known for that. So that's the type of content that you want to put out. Again, I saw this famous fitness celebrity go from about 10,000 followers to now at 1 million. And it was because she was consistent. She almost was one-dimensional, but it was it worked in her favor because her followers, anyone that followed her, subscribed to her YouTube, followed her on her website, bought her stuff, they followed her for a reason. They knew what they were gonna get, when they were gonna get it. If you start branching off and you start throwing a lot of random things on the table, then your followers are going to get confused. They're probably not going to, I don't want to see that. I thought you were pioneering human evolution. Now why are you showing me a fishing trip? So remember, consistency is key. Don't think about that as a negative thing. You want to figure out what you want to be known for, what you want to sell, where you want to drive your product or your company, and just push that as much as you can. Give your followers, give your YouTube subscribers, your Facebook fans, give them what they need to know and keep it consistent. That's what I got for today. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. Happy to help you, and I look forward to filming next weekend. Peace.